good morning. It is Sunday morning. It's just a little after 11. It's November 30th. I hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. Welcome to the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland Browns and NFL pregame show brought to you by LPV Productions. I'm your host. I'm Chad Bryan. Joining me, as always, are my buddies Ryan Mosser and TK Dandridge. Ryan, TK, did you guys have a good Thanksgiving? What's up, man?
Yeah, man. Good. Just hanging out with family, watch some good football games. It was fun.
Yeah, TK, you said your mom hooked up the turkey and the ham, right?
Definitely did. Had a nice spread out for us. We definitely had a great day.
All right. Well, here we are talking about food already. We're not even a minute into the show, and I'm hungry. It's not a great sign, but that's okay. We got a good show for you today. Listen, the Browns are going to take on the 49ers. Browns they're playing a legitimate playoff contender today, right? I was going to say a threat. They're not really a threat. They're just a playoff contender. Wind could be a factor. Weather could be a factor. There's a special weather statement around here right now. I think the last I saw, the temperature is around, I don't know, it's in the 30s. It was kind of spitting rain outside, but the special weather statement is more for the wind. We're going to see some 35 to 45 mile per hour gusts. I don't know who that helps. I mean, does that help the Browns more, the 49ers more? What do you guys think today?
I don't think that helps anybody. So, 40 mile per hour winds, that sounds like a ground game for sure. I mean, that's not going to help the kickers, either kicker. I mean, you'd hope that, Andrew Smith, whatever his last name is, I don't even remember, has some advantage by, home field advantage kicking. But, with that wind, it's crazy unpredictable. So,
yeah, I think that maybe you don't remember that his last name is Schmidt because he had a Schmitty start to his career here, but that's okay. That's fine.
It's spelled weird.
It is spelled weird. Yeah, it's very. There are a lot of extra consonants that I feel like aren't necessary, but that's fine. TK, what do you think, man? I mean, is this favor the Niners, the Browns? I mean, I don't know. Where are we at on this?
I honestly think it favors the Browns quite a bit. You got to remember, the elements are kind of where we shine brightest, given the fact that we don't screw up our own chances. You think the last big snow game that we had here in Cleveland against the Pittsburgh Steelers, we ended up pulling that one out 24-19. That turned out to be a pretty solid team. We got another very good team coming in today in the San Francisco 49ers, although I do like their chances of possibly being one of the top three seeds in the NFC when all is said and done. They do look a bit shaky. That Monday night game, I was not very impressed by. Granted, they did what they needed to do to beat Carolina. Carolina has a very keen sense of kicking their own ass, and that's exactly what they did on Monday night. And that was pretty much a forescreener for what was going to happen for that Monday night game. So am I impressed with what the 49ers were able to do last week? Got to be honest and say no.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, listen, we got some strength on strength today. We got some of that. We got Browns postseason hopes, aspirations. Maybe we'll get to that in a little bit. Of course, we're going to go. We'll take a trip around the NFL. You guys know we'll load up the road trip car and we'll get around the NFL. But first, let me get the weather and just maybe who that favors today. Let's take a look at that real quick, and then we'll get right back to the show.
Hey, good Sunday morning. It is cold out there. Out there. It is cold. It is windy. And I think this sweater is appropriate because the weather could be, I know this is Pluto, but I meant to say this could be a little goofy out there. For in a weekend where we have learned that the Kansas City Chiefs probably will not make the playoffs. We have learned that the Dallas Cowboys actually can show up in November going into December. And we're going to learn today in start number 2 for Shedeur Sanders. Can he handle AFC North weather? It's cold, it's icy, it's windy. Who wants to be out there? Who wants to go out there? I'll tell you who doesn't want to be out there. Brock Purdy. We saw his accuracy really be questioned last week. 3 interceptions in quick fashion against the Carolina Panthers, even though San Francisco, what makes them dangerous, San Francisco still handled business against the Carolina Panthers, despite Brock Purdy taking chances. He ain't taking chances out there against a top-ranked Cleveland Browns defense.
I mean,
goofy,
hey,
bro.
I love it, man. I love the sweatshirt too, by the way. I want that sweatshirt. But yeah, I love to look out the window at the AFC North weather. And by the way, we got Ron Burgundy, 8733 says hi. And he says, how are you all?
How are you all? Good, buddy.
We're good, Ron Burgundy. We're good. How are you? We appreciate you watching. What do you think about the AFC North weather, Ron? Weather. Words are hard. Anyway, speaking of AFC North weather, real quick, I just want to say congratulations to the Ohio State Buckeyes who took down their rival Michigan Wolverines yesterday. Final score there was 27-9 up in Ann Arbor. It was probably a great game. I didn't really get a chance to watch it, unfortunately. Had some things going on yesterday that were not great, but that's okay. And I'm glad the Buckeyes went up and took care of business. I think one of the lasting images for me is going to be of Brutus having crossed out the M and doing the script Ohio, just jumping on the I to dot the I. I thought that was a perfect wrap up to that. I thought that was great. But yeah, speaking of going up and mastering some conditions, I mean, I don't know. The Buckeyes have had some words tossed around about them. It's the last couple of years as far as playing in weather and things like that. I thought they dispelled that notion last year when they beat Tennessee 42-17, the freezing cold in Columbus. But still, there were some words online about the weather change and whatever. We talked about it, TK, a little bit on the illegal formation as well on Saturday morning. But yeah, went up and took care of business, got it done, beat the Buckeyes, beat the Wolverines 27-9, and just happy they got the win. Mostly happy that I can stop listening to my Michigan fans talking now for a while, at least 1 year.
Be insufferable for a whole year now, bud. So
right.
just so you know,
they're still insufferable. It's fine, and we'll be insufferable as well because that's what it.
That's me. I'm going to be insufferable.
Well, you have to be, right?
Oh yeah.
They were for 4 years. Anyway. Let's get to the Browns. Where are we today? I mean, you wonder. It's after Thanksgiving. We've all had a chance to relax a little bit. That includes, the players. The 49ers are coming off a short week as well, like you said. So, by the way, welcome to the Inside Edge Network. I forgot to tell you who we are. We're Ryan Mosser, Chad Bryan, and TK Dandridge, but you know that, right? So there's that. We're on it today. Will there be a turkey hangover today is my question. What are these teams? Both of these teams, will they be focused? Will they be just kind of like lackadaisical a little bit? I mean, it's cold weather. It's easy to go out and let your mind wander a little bit. I don't know. Like I said, maybe I don't know how much turkey they ate. Could have a lot of tryptophan still floating around in the system. Turkey leftovers all week. So I don't know. What do you guys expect to see? I don't know. I mean, do the Niners listen? The Niners have something to play for. The Browns, again, may have postseason aspirations. We'll get to that in a little bit. I know we chuckle a little bit. They'll have to win out, and they'll have to do some miraculous things. That's fine. I don't know. I mean, the 49ers should have their eyes on the prize, and the Browns could have their eyes on whatever prize is available for them, I guess. TK, what do you think? Both teams focused? What are these teams? Neither team focused? Sloppy game because of the weather? What do you think today?
Either one of these teams could be as focused as they want to with the elements that are going to be here today. You think about a sub 40-degree temperature, 40 to 50 mile-an-hour winds, and a little bit of snow going on. This is going to be a slop fest. I think much like we plan to lean on Quinshon Judkins early and often, I expect the same thing out of the 49ers to do the same with Christian McCaffrey. I do understand that their offensive line isn't really that great outside of Trent Williams. You've gotten decent spot play from guys like Spencer Burford and Dominic Puny at both guard spots, not to mention Colt McKivitz isn't that bad as the right tackle. But at the same time, I do expect our defensive line, who is currently better at this point in time in the season due to all the injuries that the 49ers have suffered, I expect our defensive line to be able to get home and get home early. But, yeah, this is definitely going to be a sloppy game. Definitely see a few fumbles happening. A few mishandled snaps, maybe. Could be a very eventful day downtown.
Okay, Ryan, what do you think? I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you expect to see two teams come out laser focused? The Browns seem to have some kind of new direction with Shedeur Sanders at quarterback. I mean, does that help? Or are they just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what to expect. It feels like a weird Sunday to me.
Yeah. I mean, since 1999, the Browns are 7-20 in the game following the Thanksgiving. Now, how much of that is because of tryptophan? Tryptophan is what it's called, the chemical that you find in turkey that makes you sleepy, or how much of that is because the teams over the years have just sucked? I fear the latter of the two. Since 1999, the 49ers are 14-13 in the game following Thanksgiving compared to the Browns 7-20. The main factors in this discrepancy between the 49ers and the Browns the Browns are organizational stability, quarterback play, roster construction, and late season competitiveness, which is our situation right now. Historically, the Browns have been lethargic in this game, but I assume that the lack of stability in the organization, the bad quarterback play, and how an awful job that Andrew Berry has done constructing this roster, excluding the last 4 picks or the first 4 picks of this last draft, is why the Browns have recently struggled. I will say that this 49ers team is probably at the back end of rankings of the teams that they had since 1989, especially with the injuries that they've sustained this year. But yet thanks to culture, coaching, and the way that their general manager has constructed their roster, they're 8-4 in 2025. Will the Browns come out sleepy and unprepared? I'm not sure. I'm very hopeful that Sanders can lead this team to victory in several games this year, but the Browns' history of losing this specific game also lingers over their heads. So.
Yeah, 7-20 is rough. I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised to hear that at all. I was surprised to hear the 49ers are just 13-14.
They've had a couple bad years there, but with Shanahan, and their quarterback, I feel like they're playing a lot better recently. So
that's fair. Well, listen, you talked about injuries. I mean, namely Fred Warner and Nick Bosa are the biggest ones, obviously. But we got some strength on strength. We talked about it just before the show a little bit, at least in the intro, not before the show. But listen, the Browns' run game is pretty good, right? I mean, it's all they do. It's all they can really do. The passing game has struggled this year. Should have looked a little bit better last week. It's a second start, though. I don't think we're ready to throw the game on his shoulders and say, hey, go out there and be, prime Tom Brady and go win us one. But it remains to be seen how he'll play today. I mean, obviously, we're curious with the wind, with the conditions, everything else. The 49ers have a pretty good run defense. They have the 10th best run defense in the NFL. Pretty good, despite the injuries at stopping the run. So, I mean, I don't know, Ryan. I mean, which of the strengths do you think comes out on top today? Is it the Niners run defense or the Browns? I don't want to say ability to run the football because they've struggled with that offensive line, but they're just the way they're forced to run the ball because the passing game has been.
Yeah, I think we're going to have some issues on our hands if we solely rely on the running game this week. And, weather permitting, it sounds like we're going to have to. I love Quinshon Judkins, but he's, struggled pretty tremendously since, his hot 2-game start. So far this year, averaging 3.83 yards per carry, currently ranked at the 20th overall running back in the NFL. Let me be clear, I do not think that it's his fault, really, at all. He has 667 rushing yards this season. 555 of those rushing yards have been after first contact by opposing defenders. Quite literally, 90% of his rushing production has been gained while breaking tackles or pushing through defenders this year. It's not his fault. The responsibility lies within, the worst ranked offensive line in the NFL, which the Browns have, our bad scheme and even worse play calling. The 49ers they actually have the 9th best rushing defense, so just a little bit even worse for us. The Browns have to mix up play calling more. They have to try to open up the passing game with Shedeur Sanders. That will open things up for Quinshon to make big plays. Sanders only threw the ball 20 times last week. That's not going to cut it. Get that dude involved, get him in the game early and often. That'll set up RPOs and other play action passes, and get Quinshon more room to work with. So,
yeah. And we'll talk about it a little bit later. I mean, I think this could be a good week to kind of unleash Sanders a little bit for different reasons, but we'll get to that in a minute. TK, what do you think? I mean, strength on strength, the Niners run defense is really good. I just found out they're a little bit better than I thought they were. Ryan helped me with that. That's why he hosts the Commissioner's Couch, right? He knows these
Sorry
things.
about that.
No, you're good. That's great. And like I said, the Browns have kind of been forced to use a running game. Judkins has been good, but like Ryan said, he's only one guy. I mean, he can only do so much with a bit of a terrible offensive line. I was going to say a bit of a not great offensive line, but when you're last, that's pretty terrible. I don't know, TK, what do you think? I mean, whose strength actually wins, or I don't know, say wins the game, but I mean, as far as strength on strength, I mean, who's better, the Niners run defense or the Browns running game?
Well, clearly I'm going to lean with the 49ers run defense on this one, even with all of the injuries that they've had. You talked about Fred Warner and Nick Bosa. You also forget to mention Michael Williams, their prize rookie draft pick from this year. Was a great run defender off of that edge. But I do think the Browns running game does have a chance, especially if they decide to run inside with the defensive tackles that the 49ers have today. Former Cleveland Brown Jordan Elliott and Kevin Givens. I do think there are some holes that can be exploited. Definitely if you run between the tackles today. I definitely think it's going to be the focal point. Ethan Posett, Joe Batonio, and Wyatt Teller are going to have to work in harmonious fashion to get this running game up to stuff and to be able to keep us in the game throughout the game. I definitely think it's going to be a key that we try to run inside as much as we possibly can. but they're going to know it's coming. So we got to be able to mix it up in there too, just like you guys had mentioned. 20 pass attempts probably might not cut it as bad as the weather's going to be today, as horrible as it may seem. 20 pass attempts might not be able to get it done, but we don't want to go crazy, especially not in a bad weather game like today, and especially with the overall offense that we have today. Going to have to find some type of balance in there. Maybe 30. God forsake if we have to do more than 35 pass attempts, which I do not expect us to do at all. Should be decent enough to have somewhat of a sustainable offense. You don't want to slam your head into the wall for 3 yards of carry for 3 hours, but at the same time, it might be what is needed. You want to attack the weakness out there. They still have great play in the linebacker crew, and especially in the secondary too. I think the secondary has definitely overperformed. Amador Lenore has been solid. Malik Mustafa has been very good. Jair Brown showed the world exactly how solid he could be as a starting safety with a huge pick in the red zone against the Carolina Panthers last week on Monday Night Football. So, yeah, as far as the strength goes, I'm going to give the edge to the 49ers run defense, but I do think the Browns can attack it if they so choose to and if they go about it correctly.
Yeah. Well, at least they're at home today. I think that helps. The weather being what it is it's the weather's the weather for both teams. But the Browns aren't home. We know they play better at home. I mean, last week we saw Shedeur Sanders go on the road to Las Vegas. He picked up his first win since I think that was the Browns' first road win since like 1894, wasn't it? I think that's right. I think I'm close on that. But now, I mean, can he do this against a contender? I mean, now he's got a playoff contender coming into town, and I get it. Like, home cooking is great, right? Especially the couple of days after Thanksgiving, you get all the leftovers. They're right there in your own fridge. But I don't know. I mean, I just this 49ers team is tough, and I know everyone says it's the weather. It's the weather. It's the Browns are more suited for this. But listen, I mean, like I said, the weather is the weather for both teams. I think you adapt so quickly as a human being to the weather. I don't even know that it has that big of a factor for one team or the other. I think both teams have to deal with it. So TK, I mean, you mentioned it. I mean, we've got to throw the ball more. You both mentioned it. We have to throw the ball more. 20 times isn't going to cut it. So are we at the point where, as fans, not as a team, because I know we know the offense can be limited sometimes with Kevin Stefanski. I know he's not calling plays, but it's still his offense. Tommy Rees calling plays aside, I mean, are we at the point as fans where we can trust Shedeur Sanders to go out there and win a game in conditions like this against a team like the 49ers?
Let me make this blatantly clear. I don't trust anybody wearing orange and brown, not even Myles Garrett at this point, as wonderful as he has been. This team is 3-8 for a reason. I do understand that the change of the offensive coordinator may have been needed, but at the same time, I do not see much progress other than the fact that you have a quarterback that can actually throw the ball 50-plus yards in the air without much problem. There's still a lot of inconsistencies there, still a lot of question marks that aren't going to be answered until probably next season. Your wide receiving core is still a load of doo-doo for the better saying part. The best weapon that you do have outside of Quinshon Judkins is Harold Phantom Jr., who I must remind Browns fans is tight end one now. It's no longer David Njoku.
Oh, yeah.
But, at the same time, I think it's a little bit too early to say that we trust anyone or anything that is involved with this franchise right now. Yeah. Granted, we are excited for the young man to make his second start. I know I am. To say that I trust him is an extremely strong word, and at this point in time, inaccurate. So, no, I do not trust him.
Okay, Ryan, how do you feel? I mean, do you feel like I mean, I'm sure your answer is going to be very similar to TK's because I think I feel the same way. But, I mean, do you think he can go out there and literally and figuratively kind of shoulder this load and win this game for the Browns?
I think that he can.
Okay.
Especially against this 49ers team, but the defense is going to have to help a lot. Yeah. It's not going to be just on Shedeur. You can't put that on a second game on a rookie quarterback. Their first big task is going to have to, somehow limit Christian McCaffrey in the run game and the passing game. They also need to get Brock Purdy get him early and often and make him uncomfortable so he can make mistakes. If our defense handles their business, which I expect them to, Sanders can win this game. The new breath of Shedeur Sanders has brought the Browns back from the dead. Not so much that they're going to be competitive for the rest of the year. I'm not going to say that, but enough to where I think players have a little more to play for than just, their paychecks and maybe a little pride. He's brought a spark to the sideline that that was evident last week when, players were reacting at some of the plays he made. With his pretty play last week, was his play pretty last week, not entirely. But he showed flashes of promises and made plays down the field, something that Dylan Gabriel was for sure lacking. I understand that the Browns are technically still in the hunt, but at this point, they're playing for pride. Sanders should look to stack wins against 49ers team that I deem very overrated this year. I understand that their record doesn't reflect that, but good coaching can win you games too. That's not what we've seen with a 49ers team that's 8-4. Especially with injuries that, and particularly every single position this year they've had injuries. They should not be 8-4. They definitely should not. And the fact that, Kyle Shanahan not only has them, with a really good record, but contending for the playoffs with a very riddled injury team. That's a testament to him. This could be a great game to build Shedeur Sanders' confidence and also could instill confidence in many Browns fans for him to be a part of the future of this team. I think he can win it, but he's going to need help. So,
okay. Well, I'll tell you this. I don't know if this might make you feel a little bit better. Not that we want anyone to be injured or limited, but Christian McCaffrey has been out of practice for a couple of days this week. Could just be because of the short week. But he's known to have a lot of lower extremity things. And I think you get that with the faster, quick twitch guys, calves, ankles, especially for running backs in general. It's just that you tend to struggle with those type of injuries. And another thing that you said was the Browns being contenders or whatever. Listen, the Browns are officially in the hunt. I don't want to hear this technically stuff, okay? I'll show you. I'll prove it to you. Listen, during the Bengals and Ravens game, look, there the Browns are at 3 because no one wants to step up and try to win this division. Baltimore is 6-5. They're in the lead, right? You've got the Browns, the Bengals, Pittsburgh's there. They're 6-5 as well. But the Browns are, I don't know if 3-8 is what we had in mind, guys. And we talked about the Browns being in the hunt. We talked about this earlier on the show this year about, the end of November coming up and the Browns showing up on the in the hunt graphic. I'm not sure if 3-8 is what we really had in mind, but they're technically there. They can still win this division. I know that seems crazy. It seems crazy that the Baltimore Ravens started 1-5 and they're probably going to win the division, but I think we all knew that. We saw that coming. Here the Browns are. They're officially in the hunt. So, how do we feel? Are we happy about this? Is it embarrassing to see your team up there in the hunt graphic at 3-8? They're not officially eliminated. That would be a little more embarrassing, right? I don't know. Ryan, what do you think?
I saw that graphic on TV and I did a spit take. I started laughing. Bro, I laughed so hard. Let's be real. The Browns are not in the hunt, okay? Regardless of what that graphic says. In fact, according to the New York Times, the Browns have less than a 1% chance of making the playoffs. If the Browns have 6 games, they have 6 games left this season. If they beat the 49ers, the Browns would still have less than a 1% chance of making the playoffs. If that percentage only goes up slightly. They go up 2% if they beat the Titans and win out. If they went out and beat the Bears, it's 4%. If they went out and beat the Steelers, 8%. And 22% if they went out and beat the Bengals. The Browns would have a 22% chance of making the playoffs if they completely went out. Went out and you have a 22% chance of making the wild card and a 78% chance of watching it from home. This reminds me of the famous line from the movie Dumb and Dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance. I guess there's a chance, but it's highly improbable, and this is incredibly laughable at this point. So.
It's great. I could not wait to show this graphic on the show. I couldn't wait. I was here we are. We did it. We did it. We made it. We're in the hunt. TK, are they realistically in the hunt, or it's just this like, hey, they haven't been eliminated yet, so let's throw them up there on the bottom of the graphic because we had room for one more team.
Well, Lloyd, I hate to rain all over your parade, but there's no chance that we're going to make the playoffs this year. This roster is absolutely trash from top to bottom. I see absolutely no scenario in which we make any type of late season magic or even do anything worth talking about. If we were to make some type of late season magical run and get into the postseason, it would be a very swift exit. And, at 3-8, of course, the Bengals are at 4-8. The Ravens are 6-6 now, and I think the Steelers are 6-4. This division is by far, to me, the worst in football. Other than the NFC South. I
Both
just
so bad.
we're not going anywhere. Not this year. As much as I would love that, even if you do win these next 6 games, you still got a 78% chance of enjoying the playoffs at home like you do every other damn year. So yeah, this isn't going to be anything any different.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot of help, even if they do win out. And let's face it, they're going to need a lot of help to win out. I mean, they're going to need some teams to just completely not show up for games coming down the stretch. They've got some tough games coming up. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know that it's a realistic in the hunt, but hey, we made it, right? I mean, we can always go back and maybe just erase the records from that graphic and go, hey, look, the Browns were in the hunt. It's fine. Whatever. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break, 2-minute break here on the Inside Edge Network, but don't go away. Do not go away, because when we come back, you guys know what's coming up, right? We're going to load up the party bus. And if we see any of you on the side of the road, you know what we're going to do when we're going around the NFL. We're going to pick them up, right? Pick them up. Sorry, you guys mentioned Dumb and Dumber. Yeah, we're going to head around the NFL in just a minute. So the car is gassed. We got some smoke coming out of the back of there. I got TK's head resized. Everybody's normal size now. So whatever.
So
yeah, it's whatever. Yeah, like I said, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break on the Inside Edge Network, and we will be right back in just a moment to take you on a trip around the NFL. Hey guys, welcome back. We are on the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland Browns and NFL pregame show. Real quick, before we get to some breaking news on the show, just want to say Fettuccine21 says no. So thanks for that, Fettuccine.
Thanks, bud.
Fettuccine Alfred, no, I guess. Anyway, breaking news, according to Yahoo Sports' who was it? Ross Dellinger. Lane Kiffin has made it clear to Ole Miss administrators that he is leaving for LSU. He's going to take the LSU job.
Wow.
I think we all maybe kind of saw it coming. I mean, I don't know. Most people assumed that would happen. I thought when he kept delaying the meeting, I thought maybe there's a chance he's going back and forth. He's going to stay, but no. I mean, Ole Miss is a playoff team. I mean, they're undoubtedly in the playoffs. I don't know if that means he leaves right away. Anyway, LSU's original proposal was rumored to be a 7-year deal worth more than $90 million, which would place him among the top salaries in the country, which is substantial for a guy who's not really won a lot of different. I mean, he's won games, pretty good coach, but I don't know. I mean, for an unproven guy, as far as the playoffs and national championships go, it's pretty large salary.
Bye, Ole Miss. I'd pack up and leave for 7 years, $90 million too. So
yeah, oh yeah,
for
still
sure. A started program like LSU. So
yeah, people like to act like it shouldn't be about the money, but I don't know. I mean,
That's generational wealth. So
that is generational wealth. Although I would be sad to leave. Ole Miss has some of the best uniforms in college football, man. Their road all whites were so clean yesterday. The 2 little blue stripe, I love that. And then they got those powder blue helmets as well. They've got some amazing uniforms. But LSU has the iconic, white jersey at home. I think that's always kind of a cool thing. Whatever, doesn't matter. Stephen Ponce says, "Good morning, Stephen. How are you? We appreciate you watching this morning." And Fettuccine says, "No, I will not have a good morning." By the way, Stephen. So to battle that out while you're at it. Sorry, just having some fun with the comments. But anyway, let's get to our next segment, which, as you guys know, is the road trip around the NFL. So, guys, hang on tight. We're about to take off. Hold on, don't lose your grip. Here we go. Oh, wheelie, we're going around the NFL. Here we go. Wheels up, we're gone. Anyway, let's just get started. Sorry. Anyway, well, first off, we had 3 Thursday games this week because of Thanksgiving, right? We got to talk about those. Green Bay went into Detroit and beat the Lions 31-24. What else happened? Kansas City pretty much effectively may have ended their season losing to Dallas on the road 31-28. The Cowboys got that win. And Steven said, "Hey, it's okay. It's okay." The Fettuccine said, "No, you just enjoy today." We agree, Steven. You enjoy today. Enjoy the show. We enjoy you being here, man. We appreciate you. So, and then we talked about the Bengals and Ravens game. Weirdly, the Bengals beat the Ravens 32-14. That was an odd one. That's where the graphic came up with the Browns being in the hunt for the playoffs. So, I don't know, here we are. We are on Sunday. Oh, we also had the Friday game. I'm sorry. My bad. Yeah, Bears beat the Eagles 24-15. Bears, I think, showing that they're maybe legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Although we talk about how the Eagles' record is maybe inflated versus how they've really played. So it's not that surprising that the Bears went into Philadelphia and beat them, but whatever. So let's start with where are we going to start? Let's start with Jacksonville at Tennessee today, guys. Make that a little bit bigger so I can see the whole thing. Jacksonville is going to be a 5.5-point favorite on the road at the Titans. This is not that exciting of a matchup, really. I mean, I wonder, Ryan Mosser, and I'll start with you on this one. This is your. I'm torn because I know you want to pick the Titans because Jacksonville left, right? But I mean, how could you pick the Titans, right? I mean,
I'm not an idiot, Chad.
Well, let's find out. Let's find out how Ryan Mosser is not an idiot. Ryan, what do you got? Jacksonville at Tennessee on this one.
I hate the Jaguars. I want them to lose, but they're not losing this game. Let's be real. Jaguars are 7-4. They're the 16th best offense, 17th best defense. Overall, okay. Trevor Lawrence is garbage, but he's average. Running game is okay. Brian Thomas Jr. is going to play. He's been out the last 3 games, so look for him to be the wide receiver 1. Brenton Strange, who I really, really like his upcoming tight end. He was out for 6 weeks. Last week, his first game back, 5 catches, 93 yards. He might be one of those guys, like a late bloomer, Trey McBride, Tucker Kraft, so watch out for him. I've been warning about him all year in my Commissioner's Couch podcast. Going against this Titans defense, who have the worst offense in the NFL and the 26th worst defense. Cam Ward, I like the prospect, but he's getting no favors right now with this team. Their running game sucks. Their passing game sucks. They just suck. Unfortunately, I'm going to take the greasy Jaguars here. No chance the Titans pull this off. So.
Wow, Ryan Mosser forced to pick the Jaguars to win. Wow, I didn't think I'd see the day. TK, what do you think? Jaguars at Titans. This is kind of it's a terrible matchup to start out, but at least we got it out of the way. What do you think?
Yeah, Jacksonville's going to take this one going away. Another number 1 overall pick matchup. Trevor Lawrence versus Cam Ward. As much as I love the young kid Cam Ward, that Tennessee Titans roster is easily the worst in the NFL right now. Should not be
worse than the Jets, though.
Yeah, I definitely think they're worse than the Jets. than the Jets. So this should be a game that Jacksonville handles early and often. We could see somewhat of a breakout performance from Trevor Lawrence today. I wouldn't count on it because he's painfully mid. But at the same time, this is a Jacksonville team that is looking to do something special this year. And with the chance to go to 8-4, I don't think they spoil that against the Tennessee Titans. So give me the Jaguars.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Jaguars win. I think it's too late in his career to be having breakout performances. I think they're just good or bad at this point. But, I mean, unless he comes out and has a season where he throws for like 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns and surprises all of us. But
that'd be crazy.
It would be crazy. I would not expect it. But, yeah, if that happens, then that's a breakout performance. But, yeah, give me Jacksonville in this one. I don't think there's much to say about it. Tennessee's really bad. You're right. This next matchup is kind of intriguing to me because there is a quarterback coming back. We've got Houston at Indianapolis. And Houston, because of that defense, the Colts are just a 3-point favorite at home in this one. Even though the Colts have been burning everybody. But Houston gets C.J. Stroud back today, unless I'm mistaken. I believe he'll be playing today. Now, I don't know. I mean, they're 3-0 with Davis Miles. That's, again, a lot of that is on the backs of the defense. Houston has a very, very good defense. We know that. But, I mean, does getting C.J. Stroud back, is that a boost for Houston? Is it just, I don't know. Davis Miles has done a pretty good job of managing the game, but presumably you would think C.J. Stroud should be better, right? TK, what do you think? Texans at Colts in this one.
Believe it or not, I'm going to go out on a limb and take the Texans here. I love the Colts a lot. They have made a lot of noise this season, but I am extremely worried about Indiana Jones and that broken leg that he is adamant on playing on. Much respect to the young man, all the respect in the world to DJ for wanting to go out there and gut it out for his team, but at the same time, baby, it don't matter how you slice it. Fractured, fibula, slightly fractured, it's a broken leg, and he's out there trying to play on it. So I do expect him to struggle a little bit. Could be another game where we get 30 to 35 carries from Jonathan Taylor, but then again, you still have a QB on one leg. And with the heat that the Houston Texans seem to attract on their own, winning a couple of games as of late, especially their brilliant performance against the Buffalo Bills that they had just gotten off of, I do expect them to come in with the same type of urgency, the same type of energy, and pull out a tough win against the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you admire the toughness, but I mean, you would think that, I mean, seemingly that would cause some, I'm sure he's going to be a little distracted when it comes to guys coming in low. And I mean, you're not supposed to hit the quarterback below the knees anyway, but it happens, right? Like, you got to think he's going to be thinking of that in the pocket. I don't know. What do you think? The Colts win this one, Ryan, or do they not have a leg to stand on?
I think this is probably my favorite matchup of the week, honestly, secretly. This Texas defense is the best in the NFL, the best. They're only allowing 264.3 yards per game and only 21 touchdowns this season. CJ Stroud is going to play. He's back. Davis Mills has been phenomenal the last 3 games. Looks like, he could have been one of those guys that possibly could have, resurged his career, the Jacoby Brissett of this year. Maybe we'll find out a little bit more if he continues to play in scrub minutes, but CJ Stroud's going to play right now. Nico Collins has been looking pretty good the last couple weeks after his concussion. Their running game is kind of not that great, though. I love this Colts team. I've said it all year. This is probably outside the Browns, if I'm being, objective. I just love this Colts team. They have the electric offense, second best in the NFL. Their defense is what is their biggest struggle. 21st worst defense, 28th in passing defense as well. Like TK said, Daniel Jones has that fractured leg. That is scaring me. I love Daniel Jones, but that terrifies me. Jonathan Taylor is going to have a good game regardless. I think, the passing game might be a little struggle. Michael Pittman and Josh Downs. Tyler Warren's sick with a virus. He is going to play, but he hasn't practiced all week. I'm going to take the Texans here. I'm going against all my things I've gone with the weeks before, but I just think that Daniel Jones with the broken leg, this Texas defense, Tyler Warren's sick. They're gonna struggle. So,
yeah, I could see it shaking out that way. I was gonna pick the Texans as well. The Colts are only a 3-point favorite at home for a reason, right? You've got CJ Stroud coming back. I know he hasn't been great, but we've talked about all the injury struggles. But that defense is phenomenal. And like you said, DJ with the broken leg, man, that's terrifying. I guess the only, he's playing indoors. That's the only real positive there. He doesn't have to be out in the weather, in the terrible weather. Playing with a broken leg. But yeah, you would think the first time he has to run and cut or stop or just really, has some pressure coming, low in the pocket. Well, that's going to be in his mind. So yeah, give me the Texans on that one. I don't know. We'll see. How about New Orleans at Miami? Miami is actually a 5.5-point favorite. The Dolphins are favored over the Saints at home. Neither one of these teams are very good. A couple of them have shown flashes a couple of times during the year. It's not been great, though. Brian, what do you got, man? Saints at Dolphins.
Yeah, this game isn't that exciting. I'm going to take the Dolphins here. Saints, not a great offense. Their defense is surprisingly relatively good. They're 11th in the NFL. They have a really good pass defense, actually. Tyler Show's been okay as a rookie. Alvin Kamara is out, and now Devin Neal, the rookie from Kansas, will play. I like Devin Neal a lot. I think he'll turn some heads this week. Chris Olave is still really, really good. Top 10 receiver. Juwan Johnson, top 10 tight end. Decent, offense for what they're given for the Saints. But I really like this Dolphins team right now. Devin Achane is a force in the NFL. He's the third best running back. Jalen Waddle's a top 10 receiver. And I think what's going to set them over this week is Darren Waller has been activated from IR. And with Waller in this lineup, he's been absolutely electric. I think they're going to force him the ball a ton, and he's going to make a bunch of plays, regardless of how old he is. I think, it's not going to be a great game, but I have the Dolphins winning. So.
Okay. TK, Dolphins get Austin Jackson back for the first time this year. Does that make a difference? I mean, they beat the Saints today?
Yeah, I definitely think having Austin Jackson back helps that offensive line a little bit, and they definitely will beat the Saints today. Saints are definitely a young team, rebuilding. It's clear to see. Tyler Shuck has been decent as far as his first few starts have gone. But I definitely think Miami is starting to, for whatever reason, feel some type of spark, some type of need to show the world that, hey, we're not completely dead yet. We still have a decent team that we are proud of to display, despite of the drama that we've had this year, or the hits to the personnel, whether it be injury-wise, whether it be anything else. I do think the Dolphins come out here and win this one easily.
Do you think that is a product of the Dolphins actually liking their head coach and wanting to play well for him and wanting to save his job there? I don't
Those
know.
guys enjoy playing for Mike McDaniel. I can totally tell. The majority of those guys do enjoy playing for Mike McDaniel. A true players coach, if we ever have seen one. There have been a few, but Mike McDaniel is definitely the epitome of that.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like the right mix of. I mean, he definitely runs things, but he definitely seems like he's also fun to have around in the locker room, and probably a lot of fun to play for. So yeah, I wonder if that plays into it a little bit. Yeah, give me the Dolphins as well. I think they're playing inspired as you can be when you're, not a great team or whatever. But yeah, look for the Saints to do maybe some weird things on offense today. But I think the Dolphins win it. Falcons at the Jets. Thinking, we were talking about maybe the worst rosters in the league, but the Jets have won a couple of games here recently. So the Falcons aren't great either. They're a 3-point favorite on the road at New York. TK, where do you stand on Falcons at Jets?
I'm going to take Kirk O'Chains and the Atlanta Falcons on this one. Again, another rebuilding team. Guys that basically forfeited their season at the trade deadline. They do show that they have a bit of fight left in them. They still do have a spine, but at the same time, this team just isn't good enough. Not that I think. I do think the Atlanta Falcons are going to get things going offensively. I think Kirk Cousins is glad to be back behind center, especially with all that has gone down with his team. The brutal injury to Michael Penix Jr. Hopefully he gets well and we can see him next year. But yeah, this is a game that I expect the Falcons to win. Not very easily, but they should be able to come with a win at the end.
Fair enough. Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with TK. I think the Falcons are going to win this game. I'm not super confident in Kirk Cousins, but Bijan Robinson is still there, top 5 running back, absolutely electric. Drake London's going to be out, and wide receiver 1 last week was Darnell Mooney. I have no faith in Darnell Mooney, although he did have a decent game, 3 catches, 70 yards, and touchdown. But this Jets team is just dismantled, garbage, traded away, punted down for the next season. 29th ranked total offense, 14th best defense, but that is obviously front loaded with Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner on that team. Justin Fields is benched. Tyrod Taylor's playing. Breece Hall is pretty much the only glimmer of hope on that team. And, he has shown time and time again that he can't handle the workload, at least on the Jets. I just feel bad for his situation. A.D. Mitchell as possibly the top option is not fun at all here. Give me the Falcons. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Hey, listen, the Jets are looking to move to 3-0 against backup quarterbacks this year, though. They've only got 2 wins, so both of those wins have come up against backup quarterbacks. I don't think that happens today, though. I think the Falcons do get the win. I think I agree with both of you guys on this one. Okay, where are we at now? Arizona at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a 3.5-point favorite at home. Things have, fallen apart over the last few weeks for the Buccaneers a little bit. We talked about early on Baker Mayfield possibly being an MVP candidate. I don't think we're talking about that anymore. That's probably not a thing. Arizona has gotten better with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. I don't know. These are 2 weird teams to try to figure out. Ryan, what do you think about this one? Arizona at Tampa Bay.
This one I think is going to be fun too. I really like Jacoby Brissett in this Cardinals offense. He's a top 5 quarterback from when he started playing.
Mm-hmm.
He's been phenomenal. I mean, they're 15th ranked total offense, 19th best defense. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to play. He had appendicitis and had a surgery, and then he was sick. He's going to play. In his absence, Michael Wilson has been dominant. 25 catches, 303 yards in the last 2 games. Even Greg Dortch has had his hands in the cookie jar a little bit. Trey McBride is still the top tight end in the NFL. Absolutely electric. The question will be their running game, but I think that 3-8 with this offense, if they continue, Michael Wilson is with him being a legitimate wide receiver too, this offense could be really, really good. I love the Buccaneers. I loved them all year. Probably outside the Colts, they're probably my second favorite team watching this year, other than the Browns. But they're struggling. Baker's been struggling. I'm so excited to see Bucky Irving play, especially for fantasy football implications, because I've been waiting on this dude since week 4, and it's been pissing me off, guys. Rashad Wright, Sean Tucker, they're okay. Sean Tucker will gain game, but we know what he is. Emeka Egbuka is going to be there as the top receiver. Every other game he's really great. The other game he kind of sits out. Godwin has been back. His first game back, 2 catches, 9 yards, not that great. I think that this Buccaneers defense is going to have problems if Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to play to 80% of what he's able to, and Michael Wilson still continues to dominate there with Trey McBride. This offense could be electric. So I'm going to take the Cardinals to win this week and upset the Buccaneers.
All right, fair enough. Well, TK, stop me if you've heard this before, but a Baker Mayfield-led team is on a 3-game slide, and he has an injury in his non-throwing shoulder. It's like deja vu all over again. When he was, I don't know if you guys probably don't want to talk about that season, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you think in this one? I don't know. I'm torn on it. Arizona at Tampa Bay. What are your thoughts, TK?
Well, Ryan does make a multitude of great points, as you did as well. I do think the Buccaneers.
Oh, not that one.
Not that one. Not that one necessarily. But I do think the Buccaneers can handle this one at home. It's going to be a much tougher matchup than anticipated, I believe. Obviously, since Jacoby Brissett has been playing so well lately in that Arizona Cardinals offense, but I do think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have just enough to edge the Cardinals at home and to get the 7th win of the season. They're going to need it, because if they do go down today, they're going to be tied with that first place slot in the NFC South with the Carolina Panthers. So that's going to be tough to live with. So I definitely think they got a lot on the line here, and I don't think they want to lose it. Not today.
Yeah, they are steadily sliding down the playoff picture as we look. But I think Arizona's going to pull it out today. I think Arizona beats Tampa Bay. I'm going to go with the Cardinals today. Let's do where are we going to go? How about Rams at Panthers? Rams are a 10-point favorite on the road. I don't know. I mean, TK, you going to pick your Panthers? I gave Ryan a shot earlier to pick against the Jaguars. He didn't do it. Are you going to pick for your Panthers in this one? This would be equally surprising. What do you think?
I'm going to go out on a limb and take the Carolina Panthers this week. Surely enough, this is an odd pick, but this has been an odd team all season long. They have been on the wishy-washy groove for as long as I can remember. 1 week they're spectacular. The next week they are absolute crap. After a very, very crappy week in Santa Clara last week, I expect them to amend their horrible performance on Monday night and make things right as best as they can at home against the Los Angeles Rams. I do think they are one of the most complete football teams in all of the NFL, but they still very well can be beat. You got some injuries in that wide receiver room for the Los Angeles Rams. Granted, that hasn't bothered Matt Stafford in the least bit. He will still find ways to make plays within this Rams offense. Kyron Williams has also been solid. But I do believe that the Carolina Panthers get an extra gear when they play at Bank of America Stadium for whatever reason. And at 6-6, with a prime chance to go up in the NFC South standings, possibly take that first slot, and to possibly make your way towards the tournament. It's going to be one of those big games that they're going to have to win. They were able to do it in Green Bay. Let's see if we can come back to Charlotte to put on a big performance against the Rams. I definitely think the Panthers can get it done today.
Fair enough. Just in case you're wondering, by the way, there are still tickets for this 49ers at Browns game under $10 a seat. So if you're heading out there, just know that if you're going to brave the elements. Sorry, I just wanted to say that before we get to Ryan's pick on this one. Ryan, what do you think? I mean, can the Panthers slow down Devontae Adams, or can they win this one or no?
No, the Panthers can't win this one. Sorry, TK. This Rams team, they're 9-2. They're one of the best teams in the NFL. Top 10 offense, top 10 defense. They have Matthew Stafford, 7th overall quarterback. Kyler Williams, 11th overall running back. Puka, top 5 receiver. Devontae Adams, 6th receiver. This team is offensively just absolutely dominant. I do like the Panthers. I mentioned last week I love Ted McMillan. Ted McMillan, I put him on my fantasy football Pookie list officially. He's a top 10 receiver as a rookie. He's probably going to make the Pro Bowl. I really, really like him a lot. I don't think that the Panthers defense, who ranked 18th across the board, is going to be able to handle them against this Rams dynamic offense. I do like this Panther. Bryce Young has looked pretty good the last couple weeks, but I just don't think that they're going to be able to withstand the Rams and this offense. So the Rams are going to win.
Fair enough. 2 things. Next week on the show, we need the official Pookie list. We got to show the Pookie list. And second, I don't want to pile on TK, so I'm going to default my pick to someone else. I'm just going to ask, can the Panthers beat the Rams? Fettuccine? Fettuccine says no. So that's not going to happen. No. The Rams are going to win. Sorry about that. Didn't want to pile on TK. I'm officially not picking in that game. So Vikings at Seahawks. Seahawks are 11.5-point favorite at home. We've talked about it. They have the best receiver in football. He might have a 2,000-yard receiving season. Jackson Smith and Jigba. Been absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. Vikings are not great. They're starting. I don't remember. I had my notes. I don't remember where am I? Where are my notes? Wait. They're starting a quarterback no one's ever heard of. Played at New Hampshire.
Max Brosmer, yeah.
There you go. Thank you. I'm just going to start with you, Ryan. The Vikings or the Seahawks in this one?
Yeah, the Vikings are going to get crushed. It's crazy. I've been saying it forever. Obviously I'm biased because, I'm a Ohio State fan and I don't like cheaters, but JJ McCarthy cannot win when he's not cheating. And it's evident. He sucks in the NFL. The only reason he was good in college is because he knew what the defense was running. So, I don't have much, hope for Max here. This running game for the Vikings not very good. Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones, both are back at the end. Justin Jefferson has been struggling, not because he's not great. It's just because they don't have a good quarterback. He's still 15th overall receiver. Jordan Addison, after missing 3 games, is still only 50th. And TJ Hawkinson is a former shell of himself after his injury. Against the Seahawks team, like you said, Jackson Smith and Jigba is the best receiver in football right now. He's probably going to get it's insane. He's so freaking good. And I say it every single time I talk about it, but it's a testament to this Buckeye factory room of receivers. And Carnell Tate, going to be taken 6th overall by the Browns next year. Let's book it because he's going. He's going to dominate, and we'll get Spencer Fano or an offensive tackle later. We don't need a quarterback in the first round. You heard here first, but the Seahawks. This offense is very, very good. Even Sam Darnold, like I said, resurgence year, got his contract, still 15th overall quarterback. He struggled, a couple games ago throwing some interceptions, but he's bouncing back, and it doesn't hurt when you have the best receiver in football with them. This defense is very, very good. 6 overall. This Seahawks team is going to crush this Vikings team. I feel bad for Vikings fans, actually. So
the Seahawks might put 50 plus up today. TK, how do you feel about this one?
It's crazy. It's crazy to think that we're actually have the possibility of having a 2,000-yard receiver. Granted, one of those offensive coaches on that Seattle Seahawks team are going to be like, we don't want to do that. We don't want to mess with history. It never seems to fail. But I got the Seahawks in this one.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I think it's probably the easiest pick of the week to take the Seahawks in this game. Hey, listen, good luck to Brosmer making his NFL debut, but I don't think it's going to go well. Maybe not even his fault. I just don't think it's going to go well for him today, really at all. And that's okay. That happens. He's still had a better football career than I have, for that matter. Doesn't matter. Not throwing stones. I just don't think it's going to go well today. Buffalo at Pittsburgh. This could be a fun game, right? Pittsburgh seems to always get into these like knockdown, drag out, like 22-19 weird games where they have like a 500-pound tight end. I'm still waiting for him to line up in the Wildcat, by the way, and play some quarterback. It's not happening yet. Come on, Steelers. Do something. Anyway, Bills at Pittsburgh, Bills at Steelers. Like I said, Buffalo's a 3-point favorite on the road. TK, what do you think about this one?
This one was tough. These are both teams that have been, again, with the wishy-washy. 1 week we're great. 1 week we don't know what the hell we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and take the easy one and take Pittsburgh at home. Something just tells me that Pittsburgh wants to get these things right. They still have a hold on the AFC North. I really don't think it makes much sense for you to go down to another struggling team, regardless of their personnel or what have you. I do think the Pittsburgh pass rush is going to get to Josh Allen quite a bit. There's a little bit of dysfunction in that offensive line for Buffalo. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers winning this one, shockingly enough.
Okay, fair enough. Ryan, how do you feel on this one?
I do not have the Pittsburgh Steelers winning this game. I don't know. This Bills offense is very, very good. Third-ranked total offense. Josh Allen is still the second best quarterback in the league, and I think the key here is going to be James Cook. The problem with the Bills is clearly the receivers. I mean, they drafted Keon Coleman last year to be the wide receiver one. He's been a healthy scratch the last 2 games. I think this is going to be his 3rd game healthy scratch. I mean, Khalil Shakur is now the wide receiver one, 33rd overall, and then Dalton Kincaid, who looked like he was going to absorb a lot of targets and was looking to have a great year, is questionable this week and has been hurt the last few weeks. But James Cook, I think, is going to be the key here. As I said, the Steelers' offense is bad, 27th overall, but their defense is even worse. Their pass defense is really bad, but that doesn't help the Bills at all. They actually rank last in pass defense, but they're very average at the run defense. They allow over 110 yards per game, 8 rushing touchdowns. I think James Cook is going to run all over them. DK Metcalf is having a bad year, 27th overall. Aaron Rodgers has been in and out with injuries. Their running game is okay, subpar, 20th overall and 22nd overall for their running backs. And like I said, every other week they mix and match their tight ends there. If they had, just one tight end who they threw to, maybe they'd have a really solid tight end. But I just think that I don't know, this Bills offense against this really bad Steelers defense, I'm going to take the Bills.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know, man. I mean, the Bills are again, they're a team that just every week they drop in the playoff picture. Right now, they're close to being on the outside looking in. 3 straight games with 3 turnovers for the Bills, and Pittsburgh is tied for second. I know the defense is bad, but they've got 20 turnovers on the season for their defense. Watch turnovers to be a factor. I'm taking the Steelers at home in this one. I think the Bills are just on kind of an alarming trend. Unless they turn that around today, I got the Steelers winning this one. Okay, what are we at? Where are we at? Raiders at Chargers. Chargers are a 9.5-point favorite. Little West Coast flavor for you. They're at home. Chargers are at home. So Ryan, I'm gonna start back with you. Raiders at Chargers. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers here. They're going to have a bounce back game after getting stomped 2 weeks ago by the Jaguars. But we saw what this Raiders team is. The Browns looked relatively good against them. Yeah. 30th best offense, 14th best defense. The only good thing on their defense right now is Max Crosby. Geno Smith, really bad. Their offensive line is horrible. So, that sucks for Ashton Genty. Trey Tucker looked to have a great start of the season. Now is, 32nd overall, and Brock Bowers has been in and out of injuries, but still is a top 10 tight end. This Chargers offense, despite their struggles, still look really good. 12th overall. Their defense is still pretty good too. I love Justin Herbert. I love that Omari Hampton isn't going to play, but he's close. He's really close to coming. So Kamani Vidal is going to get the start for now, and you never know what he's going to get. Every other game, he's really good. Like, it's crazy. Like, he's really good one game and then really, really bad the next game. Then really good. It's like for 7 games in a row. It's a weird anomaly I've noticed. But this receiving corps with Quentin Johnson, Keenan Allen, Lab McConkey, like, I don't know. I just feel like the Raiders are going to have their hands full with that secondary, and with their only good player on defense being Max Crosby, I think the Chargers are going to have a really good bounce back game this week.
Okay, TK, you feel the same?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Which game were we recapping again?
It doesn't matter. It's the Raiders at the Chargers.
There we go. Jesus, what a terrible.
I love that you lost. Was TK paying attention, Fettuccine? No. Fettuccine says no.
Listen, I kind of drifted off, halfway during the thing. Both of these teams put me to sleep, to be quite honest. The Raiders are just god awful. The Chargers, with their no-man offensive line, especially after losing both tackles, continue to hang on by a thread. But they're still decent enough to get things right. Yeah, this is an easy Chargers win. Not much to talk about here.
No, I agree with you. The Raiders are really bad. Like Ryan said it all when he said that the Raiders made the Browns look pretty good. Wow. Yeah. Chargers at home by a lot in this one. So that means the Raiders will probably win because that's how it goes when I pick. But okay, not the last game, but the last Sunday night game is the Broncos at the Commanders. Denver is a 6.5-point favorite headed into this one. I mean, the Broncos are in control as far as, they're in first in the AFC West. They're 9-2, right up there near the top of the AFC playoff rankings. The Patriots are obviously on fire. They're 10-2 right now, but we'll get to them in a minute. Let's talk Broncos Commanders. I almost said Commandos. That would have been a cool name though. Let's talk Broncos Commandos. I don't care if I can call them the Broncos. We can call the Commanders the Commandos. It's totally fine. TK, what do you think? Pay attention, TK. We're at Broncos Commanders, just in case you lost track.
Yeah, give me the Broncos in this one. The Commanders are completely decimated as far as personnel goes. It's actually a really sad story to follow. But I definitely think this is the right time for the Broncos to remain hot and to possibly get hotter going into the playoffs. Broncos easily in this one.
Fair enough. Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with TK. I mean, if you ask a Broncos fan, this Broncos team sucks and they hate Bo Nix. I don't get it. I mean, yeah, he makes some boneheaded plays here and there, but he's still a top 10 quarterback. Their offense is still relatively good. Their defense is very, very, very solid. Third best overall defense right now. J.K. Dobbins out on IR, and R.J. Harvey had a great game last week, so hopefully as a starter, he'll continue to be really good. The mixture of Courtland Sutton and Troy Franklin has also been a really good matchup. Or mixed match for the receiver core. Like TK said, it's so sad, this Commanders team, especially for my fantasy team, because I have Jaden Daniels, I have Bill Krosky-Merritt, I have Terry McLaurin, I have DBs, I have 15 leagues, so I have every single player in the NFL basically, and this Commanders team has screwed me. They're one of the second worst defense as well in the NFL, below average in offense. They have Marcus Mariota, who's giving admirable play, but is not the Jaden Daniels of last year, who they desperately need. It's sad. Yeah, Commanders are going to get crushed here by this Broncos team, though. Broncos are going to go ahead and go be 10-2 here. So
fair enough. Ryan Moster is the only fantasy football player that has every combination of every single player in the NFL on some kind of team.
Probably.
And by the way, the Broncos.
Players, so.
Yeah, and the Broncos are the only team that can win this game. Yeah, I think the Broncos are going to win against the Commanders or the Commandos. It doesn't matter who they call themselves; they're not going to win this game. So one final matchup for the week: Giants at Patriots. It's the Monday night game. Sounds like it would have been a really fun game, like maybe 10 years ago. But whatever. Giants, Patriots. Let me get my screen out of the way so I can see. The Patriots are a 7-point favorite at home. I'm a little surprised by that. Just these lines seem to keep the Giants in the game for whatever reason. The betting lines seem to, whatever. Maybe they'll play above where I expect them to play, but I think that kind of gives you a window into what I think about this game. But let's get Ryan's opinion. Giants at Patriots on Monday night. What do you think?
Patriots right now are the best team in football, record-wise at least, 10-2, first team to reach 10 wins. This Giants team, as much as I like them, they are riddled with injuries. Yes, Jackson Dart's coming back. Jameis Winston, guy's awesome. So much fun to watch, man. Catching touchdowns, throwing touchdowns, eating W's, taking L's, whatever. Tyrone Tracy's been playing serviceably. Wan'Dale Robinson has had a great year this year. He's the 11th overall receiver so far. And Theo Johnson's top 10 tight end, but their defense is very, very bad. And this Patriots team is very, very good. Top 10 in both offense and defense. Drake May looks like he could be MVP of the league this year. Travion Henderson has been dominant the last few games. Stephon Diggs has had, really good games lately as well. I think that, the Patriots are going to breeze by this Giants team pretty quickly. So,
okay. TK, what do you think?
Yeah, I got the Patriots in this one. Listen, the Giants continue to show the world that, hey, listen, even though our season is over, we still have a lot that we feel that we need to play for. And we're going to make every game that we play in for the rest of the season as entertaining as humanly possible. I don't know exactly how many lines Jameis Winston did before that game against Detroit, but my goodness, he was Cocaine Bear 2.0 out there, and especially watching him shake off Derek Barnes for that receiving touchdown. I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. I thought I was looking at the second coming of friggin' Mark Bavaro or something of that nature. He looked fluid. He looked fluid.
Ryan, he's an old guy. He used to play tight end for the Giants back in the day.
It was really ridiculous watching exactly how accurate he was with the football. Both touchdown passes to Wan'Dale Robinson and Isaiah Hodgins in that first half, and of course the play that he made
in the fourth quarter. But yeah, like I said, the Giants are going to make this game very fun, very entertaining. But the Patriots got business to handle, and I guarantee you they're going to handle it. Give me the Patriots.
Yeah, the Patriots look like a completely different team under Mike Vrabel. Wow, Mike Vrabel, who, by the way, I'll mention it again, was in the building in Berea last year, just as a consultant on this team, on this coaching staff. So they had him right there in the building. Fun times. Anyway, I'm sure Freddie Kitchens is available if they're looking for a new coach for next year. They do great with that. Yeah, I don't think there's any way that the Giants. I love Jameis Winston. Ryan, I couldn't agree more. TK, I'm sure you mean yard lines. I don't know what else you could mean. But yeah, I listen. I love Jameis Winston, but it's not enough. It's not enough for the Giants. Patriots are going to handle their business, like you said. Yeah, I think the Patriots are going to win big. I don't know if they'll win big, but they'll win on Monday night. So that's it. That's around the NFL. We loaded up the car. We got all the snacks. I don't know who gassed us up this week. I can't remember, but we appreciate you. Yeah. And anyway, we appreciate you guys going around the NFL with us. Ryan, maybe we should move you to the front seat for one of these games. I don't know, or one of these weeks. I'm not really sure. Do you like having the back seat to yourself? I don't know how you feel about that.
Bro, I can kick my feet up, play on my phone. I'm chilling.
Got the arms all the way across the seats. You look good back there, man. Anyway, like I said, that was around the NFL. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break here on the Inside Edge Network. As always, we appreciate you being with us on a Sunday morning. We're going to get to some, we got keys to victory. We're going to find out what these teams have to do to win this game today between the Browns and the 49ers. That's the only game we haven't really broken down too much yet. We'll get to that in a minute. And, yeah, we'll talk about some other things. Is it time to unleash Shedeur Sanders today? For, not just because we want to see him throw the ball, but is there an actual schematic reason to let him go? All that and a little bit more in 2 minutes. As soon as I find the button, there you go. We'll be right back on the Inside Edge Network. Give us 2 minutes, 120 seconds. We'll be right back with you. Thank you, guys. Hey, welcome back to the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland Browns and NFL pregame show. Today we're talking about the matchup we went around the NFL. We're going to talk about the matchup between the Browns and the 49ers, the 8-4 49ers against the 3-8 Browns, who are still in the hunt. They're in the hunt. There they are. You see them? I circled them. They're there. They're in the hunt. It's fine. Listen, if the graphic says they're in the hunt, they're in the hunt. Who am I to argue with the graphic? Right? Fettuccine, should we argue with the graphic? No. Fettuccine says no. Who knew that comment would be so poignant and useful so many times throughout the show today? Because I have no idea what he was talking about when he said it, so it's fine. Listen, today, I think in one way, I think the Browns need to kind of play to their strength today because they need to get pressure on Brock Purdy. Purdy is actually one of the worst quarterbacks from snap to throw as far as taking time to get rid of the football in the NFL. And that doesn't bode well when you've got Myles Garrett, on the other side of the line over there, especially in these conditions. Who knows how limited Christian McCaffrey really might be. It seems like every year, like I said, he's got some kind of an ankle or a calf thing going on. I don't know that they're going to be able to necessarily ride him to the finish line the way that, they'd want to probably if he were 100% healthy. So, Ryan, let me start with you. This bodes well for the Browns, right? Like this is when you look at the matchup and you look at like a way for the Browns to beat the 49ers, that's all positive, right? Purdy's terrible at getting rid of the ball. The Browns are really good at getting to the quarterback. I mean, that's good for us, right?
Yeah, I'm not worried about our defense putting pressure on Brock Purdy today. Yes, the 49ers have a much better offensive line than the Raiders did last week, but they're still ranked in the 15th overall offensive line. Obviously, okay. TK mentioned, led by Trent Williams and Colton Mikovits. Pretty much their only weapons on the line there. I honestly see no scenario where the Browns don't take Purdy down a few times this game. Last week, Purdy struggled against the middle-of-the-road Panthers defense. He was 23 of 32 for 193 yards, a touchdown, and 3 interceptions. Of those 23 passes, Purdy was only somewhat successful in the short and intermediate game, delivered just 8 passes beyond 10 yards. The other 13 were short passes. I'm not going to lie, Buddy looked like prime Dylan Gabriel out there last week. So, he's also still nursing his turf toe injury. He insisted last week with reporters after the game that his toe was not to blame for his bad performance, and he was struggling with timing errors. I can think of nothing better than to help assist him in those timing errors than going against a stout Browns defense led by Myles Garrett, the greatest defensive end of all time. I'm just going to say it. He is. I don't care. Absolutely. The Browns have 42 sacks, and Myles Garrett has 18 of them by himself. This defense should continue to, just go right where they left off last week against the Raiders and dominate the offensive line. So,
yeah, listen, 18 of them himself, and probably a good portion of the other 24 because of him. So, it's hard to really argue with him. TK, what do you think, man? The Browns, I like you said, I'm not worried about them getting pressure on Purdy, but that has to be a focus for the defense today, right?
If not the number one focus outright, we've got to be able to get in that backfield time and time again, especially having to neutralize Christian McCaffrey. He's going to be a big part of their offense, as he is every week. We have to live in that backfield if we want a chance of winning this game today.
Fair enough. I think they'll be successful with that. I think, like you said, Ryan, I can't think of anything better to help your timing than to face a defense that's just so pedestrian and not very good at getting – I'm kidding. The Browns are a nightmare. Their defense is just a nightmare. I wish they could find an offense to match even half that energy. Wow, they'd be a really, really, really good football team. But they're not, and that's fine. Whatever. Listen, speaking of pressure, okay, I don't know, maybe – so the Niners are pretty good at getting pressure on quarterbacks, but they're the worst in the league at getting to the quarterback. I think they only have like 20 sacks, 13. I don't know how many, whatever. They're last in the league in quarterback sacks. I don't have the number in front of me right now. Should the Browns unleash Shador a little bit? I know it's going to be windy. I know it's going to be cold. Let's find out. Listen, he played in Colorado. He played some cold conditions, right? Let's find out what he's got in that arm, right? I mean, TK, am I wrong here? Is it a good day to unleash Shador a little bit or no?
Not necessarily the best day to unleash him. But at the same time, if you want to know what you got, then you might have to pull a little something out of the pack when you're not necessarily ready to. That being said, like I alluded to earlier, don't go crazy. This is not. Hey, listen, this is the same thing that we had with Dylan Gabriel when we played the Dolphins not too long ago in the monsoon. That was that day. It was extremely rainy. I remember we were doing the pregame show, and I actually got locked out of the garage for a minute. I got smacked with a little bit of that rain. That was some juicy rain that day. Now, and this here snowstorm that we're coming off of from Thanksgiving. Hey, listen, we still got a little bit more effects from that. So don't go too crazy with it. I really don't want to see him rolling out right and chucking that thing 50, 60 yards. Not in this type of weather. Especially with how that field's going to – the grounds crew has a lot of work to do today. That field is probably going to be very slick, very icy, very cold. You know, black folks don't like to be cold, Chad. You know that. Anyway, it's going to be one of those games where it's like, we may be able to do a little something here. Let's not take too much off that we can chew.
So let's just try to balance this out and see if we can get a win that way.
Okay, Fettuccine, did you know that about that? He says no. He didn't know that either. So I'm never going to let that comment go. I wish we could have it for the next show. Okay, Ryan. I mean, let's rephrase my question a little bit because let's say there weren't 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts today. Would it be ideally a day to kind of we'll go even further? 5 years down the road, the Browns are playing indoors out near the airport, right? They've got the nice dome, the Flying J dome. I'm sure it'll be called that. Pilot Flying J. Do you think it would be Pilot Flying J right by the airport? Anyway. Would it be ideally a good day to kind of unleash Shedeur Sanders and find out what you've got a little bit? I mean, you're 3-8. Yeah, you're in the hunt. Okay, fine. You're on a graphic, but it's not really, you're not playing to protect a playoff spot. I mean, would this normally be a good day to kind of see what you've got in Shedeur? Can he go win a game with his arm?
Listen, it absolutely should be the week to unleash Shedeur Sanders. Despite the weather conditions, let me see those bombs, baby. Let me see them. I don't care. Not only does he have a start under his belt, but now, he has a win too. This 49ers defense has been struggling as of late. They're ranked 26 as the worst pass defense. Not only that, but they have only 13 sacks on the season. Only 13 on the season. Myles Garrett has 18. So he's more than the entire team by 5 sacks. As I said earlier, to put that comparison, the Browns had 10 sacks last week. The Browns have 42 sacks altogether. I know it was definitely more of a conservative approach for Sanders in his first game. Only threw the ball 20 times, as I said before. I get being conservative, but also it really annoys me. Dillon Gabriel only had one game where he had 20 or less passing attempts. In fact, if you take his 5 games started, not counting the Baltimore game where he had a concussion, he averaged 34 passes per game. In his first 2 starts, he threw the ball a total of 85 freaking times. In his first 2 games, 85 times. I'm not saying do that, but 34 passes per game average, that sounds pretty good. Maybe 30 to 34. Give Sanders the ball. Let him do some work. You can't speak about Shedeur in one hand to say that he needs to be conservative, and in the same breath, let Dillon Gabriel throw the ball 82 times in his first 2 games. They need to open up this playbook and let Sanders sling the ball down the field. That's what he's known for. I'm not sure if he will be a successful quarterback in the NFL, but I do see huge downfield plays that he had the last week with Isaiah Bond, and I want to see more. Also I find it incredibly frustrating that he had practically no red zone reps as well. Instead of seeing what this kid can complete a drive, and they let Quinshon Judkins run the ball several times in Wildcat in the red zone. I'm not complaining about the outcome, of course. I mean,
it worked.
Obviously, the Browns scored, but why aren't you letting this kid finish a drive and score points? I suspect the answer might be a little bit of ego and pride, but I digress. So.
Yeah, you really hope that's not the case, right? Like trying to hold down a guy's numbers so that you don't look bad as a head coach because the other guy is your guy. That would be weird. I really hope we're not at that point in this organization. And if we are, everyone involved needs to go. I mean, listen now, because
that's 2 years ago, brother.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that too. You're right. You're not wrong. That's ridiculous if that's the case, but it does feel like it. I mean, when you look at it from the outside looking in, man, it's sure hard to say that's not the case, right? I don't know.
I'm just connecting dots, man. I don't know.
When the dots are there, you have to connect them. It feels weird. I did wonder about that. Again, you don't argue with the results because it did work. It's fine. It worked. But man, I mean,
Quinshon Judkins is the best Browns quarterback since Baker Mayfield. So
right. Fair enough. That's fair enough. And listen, let's get to it right now. Let's just talk about what are the Browns key. We talked about it a little bit, just maybe what they need to do, getting pressure on Brock Purdy, opening up the passing game a little bit. So TK, let me start with you. How can they upend the 49ers? What are the Browns' keys to victory today?
Obviously, first and foremost, we have to get pressure on Brock Purdy. That pocket needs to be collapsed at all times. Getting into space is going to be crucial. Again, through the 3 picks last week against Carolina. Looked out of sorts for the most part. Secondly, we have to have somewhat of a balance on offense. I understand we want to give Shedeur Sanders an extensive look. At the same time, we must be very tactful in what we do as far as an offense. Yeah, obviously you don't want to run a 1954 offense like the Michigan Wolverines did yesterday. Run, pass, and then punt. But at the same time, we have to have somewhat of a strong balance within this game. I don't want you guys chucking the ball too much, especially with the conditions of this game. You have to be mindful where we're at, what exactly we are playing in. And at the same time, we need to be able to realize that, hey, if we put the ball in harm's way too much, it could cost us. This could be one of those games where we see, a lot of turnover plays that would normally, result in turnovers. You'll see a guy get lucky once in a while here, maybe a drop here, maybe a fumble that rolls out of bounds, maybe a fumble that looks like an incomplete pass. Maybe we have some tough rulage going on today. You never know. And obviously, the big one is for Kevin Stefanski to not get out coached. Kyle Shanahan is one of the 5 best coaches in all of the NFL. Kevin Stefanski has gone from a top 10 coach to an absolute dope in a matter of 2 years. This cat is nothing more than George Clooney dressing up as Richie Kotite for Halloween every season nowadays with how this team looks. So, just don't get out coached today. Kyle Shanahan has a tendency to have his brain farts. Those are usually in the Super Bowl, whether he's the offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons or the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. Super Bowl tends to be his kryptonite, but this ain't no Super Bowl, so he very well may be able to show his stuff easily. Don't get out coached, man. Don't overthink things. Please make this as simple as you possibly can. This is a very winnable game against a very good football team.
Yeah. Listen, the Super Bowl is the Browns' kryptonite too, but in a much, much stronger way, so that, they can't even get close to it. So, Ryan, what are the Browns' keys to victory? What do they have to do to beat the Niners today? All the things that TK said, I'm sure, but what else?
Yeah, they have to dominate defensively first and foremost. The Browns' defense is by far the strongest asset, obviously, this season. Pressuring Brock Purdy and containing Christian McCaffrey in their dynamic running game will be crucial. Limiting big plays and forcing turnovers can tilt momentum in the Browns' favor. As I said earlier, Brock Purdy blamed his poor performance last week on bad timing. I expect the Browns to focus on disrupting that timing and using Myles Garrett and the rest of that defensive line to apply constant pressure. Not to mention, you have to worry about Carson Wentz as well. Secondly, effective offensive execution. With Shedeur Sanders making his first significant start this week. Last week was an okay game. He had his first start, but this is going to be a significant start. This is a playoff
home start, too. First home start.
Right. The Browns need to establish a balanced offensive attack. They need to utilize both the running game and short to immediate passes to minimize errors and protect the quarterback while keeping the 49ers defense guessing. It's nice that they only have 13 sacks, but like you said, they're great at pressuring the quarterback, just not really getting to him. And against this bad offensive line, that can be a problem. Execution in the red zone and avoiding third down errors will also be pivotal. You got to let pivot. I can't talk today. Pivotal.
That's okay. Words are hard. We've discussed it. We know.
Let Shedeur go out there and sling the ball. They let Dylan Gabriel throw the ball 85 times in his first 2 games. Limiting Shedeur Sanders last week to 20 passes makes little sense, especially since Sanders is clearly the better quarterback. I understand the weather. I don't care about the weather. I want to see some passes. And third, take advantage of home field and weather. Playing in Cleveland can be advantage. Especially in adverse weather conditions such as today. There's going to be a lot of rain and wind. These factors can neutralize the 49ers' speed and passing accuracy. That would enable the Browns to control the pace with their physical style of play, especially on defense. Preparing, for potentially slippery field conditions and adjusting passing strategy quarterly could create some tangible gains, I would say. Those California boys are used to sunshine and daisies with the warm weather during games. Browns player may not completely be used to playing in these conditions, but they've done it a lot more than the 49ers players. I can guarantee you that. To upset the 49ers, the Browns must pressure the quarterback, disrupt their offensive rhythm, run a balanced and safe offensive game plan, and then exploit those home fan advantage of weather conditions. Those are my keys to victory.
Yeah, I don't expect any sunshine and daisies today. Fettuccine? No sunshine or daisies today. Yeah, listen, I think it's important to like I said, get pressure on Brock Purdy. I think with the way the offensive line is played for the Browns, and we know the Niners are kind of good at pressuring quarterbacks and getting quarterback pressure, not necessarily sacking the quarterback. We can't turn the Niners defense into the Browns defense today. Can't do that. And we've got a quarterback who has a propensity for holding onto the football a little bit too long and trying to escape the pocket by going backwards, right? Trying to escape pressure into the pocket by going backwards out of the pocket. Can't have that. I thought he did better last week. I thought he was much better, but the Raiders didn't get a whole lot of pressure on him. But I thought he did a better job of stepping up and making some plays. The play where he got outside and kind of threw that ball to Isaiah Bond off his back foot. That was an off-balance throw 50 yards down the field. I thought that opened some eyes, including Myles Garrett's on the sidelines. We talked about it. So I think we were all Browns fans in that moment. We were all Myles Garrett was us in that moment, right? Yeah, I think there are some positive things. If we're going by math, Shedeur Sanders should throw the ball 65 times today. If we're going to keep up with Dylan Gabriel, I don't think that's going to happen. I think opening up the offense a little bit, just making sure that they you got to have good protection. Shedeur Sanders has to have a little bit of time to throw, and I don't want to see him revert to those old ways of holding on to the football and running out of the back of the pocket when there is pressure. So if we see that, it could be a really long day for the Browns. On the flip side, Ryan, I'll start with you. What are the 49ers' keys to victory? What do the Niners need to do to come out with a win in this one?
Yeah, first they have to run the ball effectively. The 49ers rushing attack with Christian McCaffrey is clearly the cornerstone of their success, especially with all their injuries on their team. Establishing the run game early will help them control the clock, open up play action opportunities, and then obviously reduce the pressure on Brock Purdy, which he was feeling last week. It's essential to keep the Browns defense off balance and prevent them from stacking the box against the run as well. McCaffrey is a top running back in the NFL after 12 weeks. He's number one. Rushed the ball 217 times for 796 yards and 7 touchdowns. Really great numbers. But, you also can't forget those 81 catches for 785 yards and 5 receiving touchdowns as well. But he has 1,581 all-purpose yards and 12 touchdowns on the year. The first key to victory is going to have to be stopping that guy. So, yeah. Secondly, they're going to have to pressure Shedeur Sanders. Defensively, the 49ers need to generate consistent pressure on the quarterback. But disrupting timing and forcing hurry throws, San Francisco can capitalize on mistakes and create turnover opportunities. The Niners, decent front seven, they're decent. They must leverage their pass rushing talent to collapse the pockets and limit Cleveland's offensive rhythm. If they can keep pressure on Shedeur, it's only a matter of time before he panics and tries to improvise by running backwards, and that's when you got him. So. Right. And then finally, just win the turnover battle. Protecting the football on offense while forcing turnovers on defense remains a critical factor. 49ers must avoid risky throws and fumbles and maintain possession, especially on key drives. Brock Purdy cannot throw 3 interceptions this game if they want to win. Capitalize on Brown's errors and can swing momentum and provide favorable field position. Last week, like I said, he threw 3 interceptions. That can't happen. Right. Especially against the top 3 defense, which the Browns have. Purdy has to protect the ball, and the 49ers defense have to create turnovers to flip the field.
Yeah, fair enough. TK, what do you have for Niners keys to victory today?
Well, first and foremost, these guys got to be California dreaming. You guys are the mamas and the papas, and it is January of 1966 all over again. That's exactly what you guys have to think. It's going to be absolutely dreadful out there. Do not let this weather get to you guys. You know exactly how good of a football team you are. You didn't get to 8-4 for no reason. Secondly, we got to include more guys than Christian McCaffrey. Ain't no way in God's green earth the Cleveland Browns going to let Christian McCaffrey do jiu-jitsu all over their defense. You got to get George Kittle involved in there. Got to see what's going on with Jawan Jennings, see if we can get him released. Got to get Ricky Pearsall involved in this game. We got to have a collective effort on offense, especially with the poor play of Brock Purdy. As of late, I definitely thought he was rushed back. I definitely thought McCorkle Jones had a better handle on the quarterback job this season. Still solely for this season. This isn't anything for the future. I definitely think this was an injury that was rushed. Turf toe injuries are not to be played with. I know they sound small. They are the exact opposite. This is a big deal. And I do think Brock Purdy was rushed. Secondly, this offensive line better step up. It can't just be Trent Williams today. Colton McKibb's got to give you something. Jake Brendel's going to have to show his ass. Spencer Burford and Dominic Puny are going to have to help clear holes in the inside if they want to give the football to Christian McCaffrey. They're going to have to work together in unison. This Browns defensive line, regardless of what our record is, has been an absolute menacing sight to see this year. You get improved production from guys like Malik Collins, who I think is having the best year of his career. I thought he was good at San Francisco. My goodness, am I glad we got him. Mason Graham is starting to show up a little bit more. Still need to get off that stank-ass half sack, man. It's been 13 games, almost. Soon to be 12 games. We got to get off that half sack, buddy. You've been sitting on a half sack since week 3, buddy. We got to take care of that. But,
he's there for run support. It'll be fine.
I understand that, but man, it just looks so puny, so minuscule. But we do understand the impact that he does push in the pocket and the things of that nature. And last and not least, we talked about this earlier. Out coach
You have to be the top 5 coach that everybody reveres you to be, Mr. Kyle Shanahan. There's no way that you let Kevin Stefanski get under your head. Not after what you let happen in 2023. I understand we were a missed kick away from having lost that day. But listen, there was no way in God's green earth we should have won that football game with Philip Walker Jr. as our starting quarterback. And you got to remember, San Francisco 49ers have not won a game in Cleveland since 1984. That's prime Joe Montana. It's young, damn near fresh out of Notre Dame, Joe Montana.
Okay.
You don't keep that going, especially if you're the 49ers and you got big dreams this year, getting to the playoffs and making a run towards the Super Bowl. Don't let this happen. You do not need to lose to a team like Cleveland. That is going to jack your season all the way up, completely sink it, but it'll screw it up a little bit. Monkey wrenches in the program are always an inconvenience.
Fair enough. Well, listen, all the leaves are brown and the sky is definitely gray, TK. So you nailed that. But yeah, I think as far as the Niners go, I think a lot of the things you said, both of you said, yeah, I mean, you got to get pressure on Shedeur Sanders. You have to actually get to him a couple of times. Ryan, you said it. When you make him start to panic and he starts running out of the back, then right? You're getting to him.
Right.
Another thing I expect to see out of the Niners today is a lot of delayed handoffs, a lot of draw, whatever type handoffs to Christian McCaffrey, a lot of screen passes, dump it out in the flats, things to kind of help keep Myles Garrett and that defensive line off balance. You mentioned Mason Graham, TK. One thing that I really like, that I think no one's really mentioned a lot is the fact that the interior of that defensive line for the Browns is probably what's letting Carson Schlesinger go out there and make some plays this year. So they've done a fantastic job. I don't think people talk about that enough. I mean, everyone talks about Schlesinger, which is fine. He's making plays. He's always around the ball. But there's a reason that he has that freedom to run around and make those plays. So I think that interior of the defensive line has been fantastic. Maybe a little bit unheralded even. Okay, so I'm going to start with you, TK, because we need a score prediction. We gotta. Who's going to win? What's the score going to be? Wait, before I start with you, real quick, Fettuccine, do you have a score prediction for us? No. Okay, never mind. TK, it's you, man. Sorry, I was going to give Fettuccine a chance, but it's on you.
Not a problem. Even though I did say earlier that no one in this organization wearing orange and brown should be trusted, I am banking on a Browns victory today. I do think this is a very winnable game against a tough team. I'm going to go Cleveland 17, San Francisco 13.
Okay. All right. Brian, is TK insane? I mean, what do you think?
TK has the Browns winning. All right. I mean, the 49ers have the 10th best offense, really, really good passing offense, which is surprising despite all those injuries. Like I said, third best in the NFL. And their defense is not awful. They have Christian McCaffrey, who's going to be a huge problem for us. George Kittle is also going to be a problem. The Browns defense is going to be a huge problem for the 49ers. They're going to get after it, man. They're the second best defense in the league for a reason. I'm not sure 100%. I'm not 100% confident on this offense. I'm not sure what the game plan is going to be, how they're going to, roll. Shedeur Sanders out there, although I want him to sling it. Logically, I have the Browns losing this game, 27-15. However, I think that Shedeur Sanders will throw the ball a lot more in this game and will find success. Myles Garrett will continue to dominate the line of scrimmage, and weather will affect the 49ers more. I never do this, so I'm actually going to pick the Browns to upset the 49ers and win this game.
Okay.
I'm going against my logic here. I called it last week that Myles would have 3 sacks. He did. I think he'll add 2 more sacks and bring his total to 20 today. I think Shedeur Sanders helped the team win. I think the Browns are going to win 24-21 and bring our playoff hopes from less than 1% all the way up to less than 1%. So really excited about that.
I can't wait to be less than 1% because, Ryan, they're in the hunt. They're in the hunt. It's fine.
Right.
They are in the hunt. Listen, as far as score predictions go, this is a weird one for me because of the weather conditions. You've got a new quarterback making a second start, his first home start. We don't really know what type of quarterback he's going to be in the NFL. We don't know what the game plan is going to look like. We don't know how Brock Purdy is going to be feeling on his feet. TK, you mentioned it, man. Turf toe is nothing to mess with. People go, oh, but it's a toe. It's not like you have a broken leg. It's not Daniel Jones. In some ways, I think you'd almost rather have a cracked fibula than a turf toe, right?
Right.
I don't know. It's a tough injury. It's hard when that's your base, right? That's the first thing that contacts the ground, right? Your feet. You got to be able to. You have to have your toes to be able to move. And when one is down like that, man, it makes a huge difference in balance and speed and reaction, everything. everything that across the board, it makes a huge difference. Just even be able to step into a throw, right? It's a huge difference. It doesn't matter which foot it's on. So man, it's weird because this Browns defense seems to thrive in these games like this, these bad weather, cold, windy, rainy, snowy, whatever games. I really want to pick the Browns. I feel like there's going to be a defensive touchdown today. I feel like there's going to be something. San Francisco is going to turn the ball over at some point. But despite all that, I think the Browns score a defensive touchdown and still lose this game. I think the Niners win this one. Oh, man, I've been going back and forth on the score. I want to say it'll be close at 27-17. I think the Browns are going to make an unforgivable mistake. I don't know that that's going to be Shedeur Sanders necessarily, but I think down the stretch, when it comes time to either come back and get this win or if they've had the lead, I think they just make an unforgivable mistake. It feels like one of those kind of days to me. I don't really have a reason for that. It's just a gut feeling, really. But yeah, 27-17. I think the Niners win this one. So I'm going to go against both of you guys. I'm going to say the Niners win it. Yeah, 27-17 is what I have. So we'll see what happens. Listen, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you being with us. Remember to follow us on social media. Get out there and go to Twitter. If you're watching us on Twitter right now, just hit the follow button. Or X, whatever you want to call it. I still call it Twitter. I don't know. It's weird. X is weird. But yeah, if you're watching on Twitter, just go back and hit the follow button before you get out of here. Make sure to follow us so that you always know when we go live. You can be notified when we go live, and you can just throughout the week. We tend to tweet certain things out. You guys should see those. But yeah, follow us on Facebook. We're now on TikTok, by the way. So if you're on TikTok, go to TikTok and look for Inside Edge Network. We're right there on TikTok. We've just got the TikTok is our little baby. We're creating it. We're starting that. So yeah, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, on MySpace. You can be one of our top 5 friends, right? No, I don't know if we're doing MySpace anymore, but listen, follow us on social media. Always be sure to watch a ton. Like the Commissioner's Couch is a fantastic resource for not even just fantasy knowledge, but just for football knowledge in general. It's hosted by Ryan Mosser, and you can watch Illegal Formation. That's TK and I. We're on Saturday mornings. You can watch Illegal Formation Reacts. That's, I don't know, whenever we get around to it.
They got some great shows, guys. So definitely check out Illegal Formations for sure.
And there's just so many other shows on this network. Jersey Chasers. There's so many other just great shows. The Main Event, the Side Hustle. There's so many shows on this network that are so fantastic. Great, talented hosts and just really entertaining shows. So please be sure. Follow us on social media so you don't miss any of that. Other than that, enjoy some NFL football today. Enjoy kickoff here in just about 15 minutes. We gave you time today.
Yeah, go check out your fantasy lineups. 290 of us in here watching it live. That's really, really crazy. Really grateful for all you guys as well. Just want to shout all you guys out. Really appreciate you all watching us.
Definitely appreciate
every single week like this. So.
For sure. And by the way, one more time before we go, Fettuccine, score prediction? No. Nothing. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Go enjoy some football. We got the Browns kicking off at 1 on CBS. So please enjoy that. And then you can, there's plenty of football on today, even though it feels like everybody played Thursday or Friday because of Thanksgiving. But yeah, enjoy the football. We appreciate you guys in here. We'll see you next week on the Inside Edge Network. Cleveland Browns and NFL pregame show. As always, we're brought to you by LPV Productions. Goodbye, guys.